So this video is about the rise of homeless streamers in China, how they gather outside their apartments, rooms and houses on the streets for streaming purposes. I was really surprised.
If you walk around in a Chinese city at night, you might come across something like this. Rows of people, mostly young and attractive, sitting or standing on the streets in front of rows of phones and ring lights, singing and talking and sometimes dancing. They look like streamers, but they also look homeless.
Yeah, if you compare it to some of the streets we have even in Europe and USA, exactly. If you get rid of their equipment, of their fancy stuff, yeah, they look like kind of dystopian.
Indeed, they do gather around places where homeless people tend to be. On the sidewalks, inside tunnels, on bridges or under bridges. There was even a bridge that became so famous for this type of gathering that people started going there just to watch the spectacle. There was so much foot traffic under the bridge.
Still wonder why they're forced to go there on the streams. Why not to do it in your room? Maybe the rent is high, or maybe, this environment, something to your content, some reaction of people around. Maybe because of this. They're not by themselves, I guess. Mainly, maybe some sort of the corporation hires those wannabe creators, streamers, and they place them elsewhere. What is really happening? Why they do it outside?
At one point, it started to look like a local festival or block party. You can see people dressed up impeccably while dancing in the mud.
Dancing in the mud. Maybe this one is to trigger more attention, like fancy girl with a nice body dancing in the mud.
Or downright rolling in the mud. Or basically doing whatever it takes to get attention from.
They're struggling, I guess, with the limitations during even the COVID crisis, trying to get back on the rails, but it is happening very slowly. Even though Communist Party, it says, okay, we're doing fantastic job recovering, but it's not like that. And here, the entry level to become streamer, in general, it's very low. You need a phone and everything, and just to show your face, create account, and that's it. It's very hard to be outstanding streamer, to be a popular streamer nowadays because of this low entry level. Even me, I struggle here on this channel. I think you need to produce some sort of the unique content to be really outstanding nowadays. Everyone wants to be famous, so they are willing to put themselves even in the mud for people to react, to comment, and to share those videos.
Viewers online. Now, if you're seeing this for the first time, you probably have a few commonly asked questions. What are they doing?
Yeah.
Why are they doing that? Are they streaming? Are they homeless? Why are they streaming outside? Why can't they stream from home?
Yeah, it's the main question for me, for now.
Why can't they just stream by themselves? Why do they seem so desperate? What's pushing them to go this far? Why is this happening? Why are we here? What's the meaning of life? The universe? Okay, I got you. In this video, I will talk about this phenomenon of homeless streaming in China. I'll talk about what it is and what caused it, and in so doing paint a cautionary tale of what can happen when the attention economy goes too far. Now, like these streamers, I too am a content creator, so I feel a personal connection to their struggle.
Yeah, me too. I wouldn't say they stream outside for the views, but they're very close to it. So they really struggle, found themselves in searching for some of the sponsors of their content creation. There are good-looking girls only out there on the street streaming.
You might not be a streamer or a content creator, and that's okay, because the lessons here are applicable across culture and geography, and can be useful regardless of your particular domains of human endeavor. So join me as we dive in to the rise of these homeless streamers. Now, first of all, yes, they are indeed streamers, but no, they're not homeless.
Yeah, and that's the main question. Why? It's so dystopian, looks like. Interesting. So China, they have their own applications, like WeChat or something like that. I think you can also stream there. But the problem, unlike in YouTube or Twitch, you don't have this paid advertisements like you have on your videos, which might bring some of funds, because I don't see the other reason why should you stream massively like that if it is not your passion. And clearly it's not their passion. They have the full-time job. They're gathering out there mostly at night, so they're searching for extra money and to be famous. So if they don't have like this standard monetization, it means they're looking for someone online, some donators, some people who support them. I think Twitch was like that before. Like we still have paid subscriptions on Twitch. I do also have people who subscribe for me. So basically it's like sending the part of the money from one people to another within the same country. And young, attractive people, sometimes not even attractive because you may use filters, they want to make this kind of the content, trying to make it their full-time job.
Or at least not usually. So why are they out there on the street in the middle of the night? Well, they come out at night because nighttime just happens to be a peak time for streaming traffic.
Yeah, people, they come home in the evening. That's what I struggle with. I post videos in random times and it's very bad. Actually, and I also stream in random times. It's also bad.
Most people would have finished work at that point and are now online seeking entertainment. So nighttime naturally has the most stream viewers. And
yeah, that's what I told. Like naturally, evening time is the best for you to stream or to consume content. Also, you have more of the stuff on Twitch and elsewhere. And also one thing about Twitch, for example, the biggest streaming platform, that if you stream during morning times, yeah, you have less activity, but you also have less competition. So for those few viewers who watch, you could be a way to go. Like if you present some sort of the outstanding content, because big Twitch streamers, they stream also during the peak hours, so they don't go in the morning time. So morning could be your good to go choice to expand the channel, to grow it. But it works, I think, with Twitch only, or maybe it should work with YouTube as well. YouTube has strange recommendations about streams. After all, it's not the streaming platform. I would say for YouTube, the important thing is mainly the big, long videos. Then it goes for the short format videos, YouTube Shorts, and the streams are somewhere on the third place. It is based on algorithms of the platform. But then you finish your stream on YouTube, your stream becomes a video, and it goes into recommendation for your subscribers and elsewhere. It may actually be profitable also stream on YouTube, because it could be profitable to get more audience later on after the stream. Prime time for YouTube could be different. For Twitch, yeah, it also saves your video for several days, but what happens to it after the stream doesn't really matter that much compared to what happens during the stream. So during the stream, it's in a rating window. Depends on how many subscribers and viewers you have. You have this rating, and based on the topic you speak about. For example, I post just chatting topic on Twitch, which is very popular. So we have lots of the competition. If people go there on Twitch, they'll see me somewhere below. If I was a popular streamer, they would see me right in the top, and it's like a snowball. And the more popular you are, the better it is for your views. That's why, yeah, it's very hard to grow on Twitch. There was an experiment done by Mr. Beast, I guess. Yeah, it was Mr. Beast. He didn't put any sort of the advertisement that he created Twitch account, or he didn't tell about it on his other social media on YouTube and elsewhere, and he got one viewer. I don't know whether he gave something to that one viewer, I mean some money, but it shows that it's very hard to grow without the big name. Even if you name your channel Mr. Beast, no way you can grow yourself without being popular before. I think that same stuff applies to Instagram. So I don't know about the algorithms of this China platform for the streaming. The good thing they did, like Chinese developers did with TikTok, I think this platform, I mean TikTok, has the best algorithms out there for beginners. If you're just starting with your channel, if you film like 10 videos, short videos, at least one will get popular. And also you can monetize your content, at least in some of the countries. But here in our topic, I think that those ladies, beautiful ladies, streamers, they're looking for donations from some of the simps, like 2, 3, maybe 5 donators. Sometimes it's okay. They don't have like lots of the people watching them, but few people, they donate huge amount of money to support them in a rating. And TikTok, by the way, it also has battles, ratings, and they basically force supporters who like particular individual to donate money to promote creators, favorite content creators on higher places out there. It works like that on TikTok. It really consumes lots of the money from people. And about TikTok, you can be popular there even if you're a male. Men are also popular on streams.
Streamers in turn get online at night to capitalize on that. Many streamers also have day jobs and would only have time to stream at night. In terms of why they do it on the street though, it's mostly because it makes for engaging content. You've probably seen TikTok dancers do this, filming their content in public, sometimes to the annoyance of other people.
That's the example.
Talkers can and do film their content in private spaces, but there's something...
Wow, that's the nice transition. That's the awesome transition. Yeah, it's really, really nice they did here. Transition to the street.
Interesting about the real world chaos. The cars and the cityscape and the social pressure of other people watching that can make the content more engaging.
Yeah, like unpredicted environment, what is happening outside also matters. The thing that it could be noisy. So you have to put the audio later on, like the song or something later on.
Watch. And these Chinese streamers stream in public to capture some of that same engagement on their stream. Additionally, for some streamers, this is also an attempt to appeal to pity. The idea is that if viewers see them sitting out in the cold at 1 in the morning, they might feel empathy towards the streamers, and as a...
Yeah, why should you stay there, my favorite streamer? Here's your $1,000, let's go home. Stream is over for you today. It could be like that as well.
Now, I acknowledge that this looks kind of insane. In fact, when I first started researching this topic, I had to do a sanity check and contact a few people in China to make sure that they've actually seen this with their own eyes, and this is not just AI-generated footage. And unfortunately, it is real. In fact,
yeah, it started to be real even half a year ago. I saw those videos. Maybe they started to stream like that even before.
In fact, you can watch the stream from these streamers right now. You need to use a Chinese streaming platform, and here's me trying to do this a few weeks ago. I just searched for street streaming and found one after just a couple of scrolls. What was shocking to me was that I was watching this at 1:40 in the afternoon Pacific time, which would have been about 4, almost 5 o'clock in the morning.
In China, just imagine this. Oh my god. It's like no schedule at all. I think I have a bad schedule here streaming and recording videos, but they... And how many followers do they have? How many viewers for stream?
In China. So this poor girl was on the street at basically 5 in the morning while it was kind of raining. And
oh, I see, like 46 followers. Well, relatively okay, I would say, if she's just a beginner. If not, it's not too much. Depends on how then she starts streaming. And you see, you can share some of the presents. It's like TikTok. Yeah, it's freaking TikTok. This same present you have on TikTok here, the car, the plane is identical, the glasses are here. I know those presents in TikTok. You can like send her the present, it will appear on the screen, but you'll have to pay for it using the same application, WeChat or something. So it is connected to your bank account and you just send her presents. I wonder what presents... Like you see, she got 22 out of 24. What the hell is that? You put the goal, you see? She put the goal and she collects the money. Okay.
And streaming for the 46 people who are watching the stream.
Again, it depends how long does she stream. Years and years, or just a couple of days or a few months. 46 people could be a lot. 46 people could be not too much, depends on the time.
But the question is, why are they going this far? And sure, streaming outside might make for slightly better content, but compared to the comfort of streaming from home, what's pushing these streamers to go out in the cold in the middle of the night? Now, first of all, there is a macroeconomic reason for this. After the COVID lockdown, China's economy has not rebounded as strongly as one.
Fuck, we are saying the same, we are speaking the same language with the guy, because I was telling about the COVID, because China was really strict and their economy really suffered. I remember the time that they say they implemented the strictest measures possibly imaginable. Later on they say, okay, we cope with COVID, everything is okay. They start to film propaganda videos that we dealt with COVID, but later on another wave hit China and they understood that no matter how they lock their society, they'll have to go through it with vaccines, with everything, but it will take lives. It doesn't matter whether you close everyone and ruin your economy or you open everyone. And they opened. And obviously they had the highest possible rates of deaths because they were not prepared for it, actually. And you say, despite Donald Trump, they were better prepared for those kind of the scenarios. China did a very wrong step locking everyone, because then the second wave happened. They didn't have the immunity. They were locked without the sunlight, without the fresh air. They were depressed because many people lost their jobs. They struggle a lot. Their GDP is now went down. The recovery is very slow.
The rate of unemployment is still relatively high, and even those with jobs might not necessarily be able to afford the cost of living in major cities. Streaming, on the other hand, has a low barrier to entry. Basically anyone with a phone and an internet connection can do it. So naturally, streaming becomes something many Chinese people do to supplement their income. According to CCTV, there were more than 15 million professional streamers in China by the end of 2023.
15 million streamers in China. Oh, that's the huge number. For China, even with their population, it's a lot. 1 in 100, if you take this number.
That means roughly 1 in every 100 people in China.
Yeah, exactly.
Were streamers. In other words, the streaming industry has become incredibly competitive. It's therefore a necessity for streamers to go the extra mile, to stand out in a sea of people making similar content if they want to make money.
From what I saw, and on TikTok as well, because Chinese people, they also stream on TikTok somehow, even though this platform is forbidden in China. They produce the same content. They look similar, they wear similar stuff, they use similar gear. Everything is so similar, freaking similar. For the content they produce massively, I don't see that they will get like very popular out there in China. Like most of them will earn few pennies from what they make. Maybe if they work for some media agency, the agency will make money but not themselves.
Making the effort to come out to the street is just one such example. But there are other factors that exaggerates this sense of desperation in streamers and push them to work harder. One of these factors is baked directly into the mechanics of Chinese streaming platforms, and it has to do with how Chinese streamers get paid. Now,
they don't have any sort of the built-in advertisements, like for example you watch on Google. They don't have Google or YouTube Premium, which pays some part of the money to creators. They don't have anything. They just rely on their audience.
Many streaming platforms in the West, like Twitch and YouTube, have ad revenue sharing programs. Once streamers are qualified and accepted into the program, even if their viewers don't pay them, the streamers can still get paid from ad revenue. Chinese streaming platforms, on the other hand, don't have ad revenue sharing.
Exactly.
Or at least not yet at this time. So
it's the downside. I wonder why, because TikTok, it is China owned, China company owned platform. It has this revenue share for streamers, at least in some of the countries. United States, by the way, is the part of it. You can have the revenue in Germany, in France. Well, totally there are 5 countries. I think in South Korea and somewhere else. But you need to register your account there. It's very strange that Chinese companies do not share revenues with creators. Maybe they have problems with the constant contracts for creators or something. They should have ads. The platforms are just not sharing revenues.
Streamers' income has to come from the pocket of the viewers. That usually happens in one of 2 ways. First is straight up viewer donation. Viewers can tip the streamers directly.
Yeah, I show you already with the presents, like on TikTok also you can buy present. For the ladies, it could be interesting, like for example, this heart, it costs some penny. They may put the goal to collect, for example, 100 hearts. They could work for the company because sometimes it's easier for content creators, especially for those who started, to work for someone. But actually, it's a bargain later on if you're a popular streamer. I never used any sort of the companies to promote me, and also you have like obligations, the agency you sign the contract with, you have to, for example, produce video once a week or something on particular topic, or you need to earn particular amount of the money from your views. So it becomes your job. Your art, your free thinking is the secondary. You're like this machine working on corporation.
Through these virtual gifts. This is one of the most common ways for street streamers to monetize. The second way is live commerce, and this is basically infomercial but on streams. Streamers would talk about the product and
Yeah, some cherries. Some earn more from this stuff actually than from advertisement. Western influencers, they earn more with affiliated links, like for example, techno streamers, digital stuff. They have affiliated links, and sometimes those share up to 15% of their revenue per each product with the streamer or YouTuber or influencer. That's quite a lot. Also, you might have direct promotions, contracts, big advertisement business.
and there will be a button at the bottom of the screen for viewers to buy. When that happens, the streamer receives a commission from the sales.
Commission, yeah.
Now, regardless of how it happens, the fact remains that streamers don't get paid unless viewers take money out of their own pocket and give it to them in one way or another. This creates an incentive, if ever so subtly, for streamers to be a bit more desperate. They seem more needy because they do need something from their viewers. Because of this, there were memes circulating on Chinese social media that compares these street streamers to beggars.
Yeah, partially it is true, but actually streamers, they do not beg. Like, there are some of the streamers, the layer of the streamers who really beg for donations, but usually people don't like those kind of streamers. They do not survive for long run, or at least middle run. So you have to produce some sort of the content. They're not like begging directly for money.
Here's one such meme. At the top here says old school beggars, and the bottom says new age beggars. Now I can see some resemblance, but to be fair, streamers do provide some form of entertainment. They do sing and dance and so on. So a better comparison might be,
yeah, it's not like beggars. It's like you can compare them with street artists who sing or dance. Here they do similar stuff, maybe singing, just online.
to street performers rather than beggars. There's another thing that sets streamers apart from beggars, and that's the fact that many street streamers are often parts of a business or company that specializes in social media content creation. These companies are officially known as MCN, or multi-channel network, in the industry.
Yeah, I know that many influencers, then there was no monetization on YouTube. Even big YouTubers like PewDiePie, they work with those companies, and later on it was a pain in the ass to get rid of those companies. Because at some point they start to get more, and you have lots of the obligations with them. If you don't have the other choice yet, it's better to work with them. If you, for example, don't have Google monetization, maybe in your country or something, maybe they may provide you with alternate variants of how to receive funds from the videos, from the views, via their schemes, which are quite legal, through Bitcoin or something. So yeah, maybe in that case, it's okay, but I wouldn't recommend to join those agencies at all.
They're basically streaming agencies or influencer agencies. They provide streamers with training, equipment, help them broker sponsor relationship, and with other logistical tasks in exchange for a cut of the streamer's revenue. Now, you might wonder why any influencer would want to give up a portion of their revenue to join an agency.
From the beginning, it could be the way out. They may give you gear, they may make you more popular in a way. They will support you because at the very beginning, it's their interest to get more money from you. But if you're already successful, I don't see any kind of the variant to join agency.
You've got a smartphone and a data plan, so just point the camera at yourself and hit record, right? How hard could it be? Well, there are actually a lot of things content creators need to do that has little to do with creating the content itself. For instance, I just spent a week filing my taxes. Even though my channel was monetized for less than 2 months last year and made about $200, I still had to include that business activities on my tax filing.
Yeah, it could be like the scrutiny could be done by company in a way, yeah.
because there's apparently a difference between cash-based accounting and accrual-based accounting. And if you don't know what any of that means, I didn't either. So that's how I spend a week. Thank you for asking. Now, no offense to the accountants out there. This is fascinating stuff, but as a content creator, it's probably more efficient and relevant for me to spend a week researching for this video topic instead of learning how to depreciate.
Yeah, I understand this guy, and I face the same issues. Luckily, I am in a country with kind of the open mechanism of how to file all the tax reports.
The idea of a company taking care of these kind of things for me, it sounds like a great value proposition in theory.
Yeah.
But in practice, joining an agency, especially in China, usually means giving up on some degree of creative and career freedom. And depending on how ethical the agency you're working with is, you could be giving up on a lot of freedom to the point that you are trapped.
Yeah, it's like your worst job. So from your dream to be independent, famous streamer, you're going to downgrade yourself with this Chinese, especially, agency, which may tell you, okay, work every day for us. Every day you should go streaming. We don't care about your job. We don't care about your family, social life. No. Stream for us every freaking day because you look good. People watch you. People will give you presents, and we want to have a bunch of money from you. Great piece of share from the streamer like you. And contract, they may include that stuff, and it's very complicated to get rid of the agency in this case.
Contractually, as part of joining an agency in China, streamers might face restrictions on what kind of content they can stream, where and when they have to stream, and quotas, like how much revenue they must generate per week.
I would stream about Winnie the Pooh in China.
And keep in mind that Chinese streamers don't make revenue until viewers give it to them. Failing to meet these quotas could result in fines. And if streamers try to leave the agency before their contract's completion, they could get sued. So it's easy to see how these restrictions can intensify desperation and push streamers to hustle ever more frantically to avoid breaching contract terms. For example, you might have seen clips like this circulating on the internet. People have called them influencer factories, and these would have been operated by influencer.
Wow, this is really dystopian. Just look at this. You know, we were speaking about bot farms, Russian bot farms and so on. And this is the China content creator bot farm, and they have numbers. It's like Gulag, where they work, you know, before they were producing some of the clothes parts, like usual job, or they're getting some metals from the ground and coal. Here the stream. It looks like a punishment. It's not the content creation any longer.
Agencies. Not all.
They have the same gear.
All of them look this bad, though. There are some with better conditions, like this one based in Indonesia. But the business.
Those are better conditions. Like, okay, they have the separate places, I guess.
Business idea is the same. It's to streamline the content creation process, from training to filming to distribution.
What is this? Just look at this. It's like we live in the Matrix. Some sort of the episode of what? Black Mirror? How those series called, yeah? I don't remember the name. About dystopian reality. Cyberpunk, dystopian world. Shit, this is shit.
So the content can be mass manufactured like commodities in factories. And many of these
like chicken factories, indeed.
streaming gatherings are just the other side of the same coin. Now, some street streaming gatherings are formed organically from independent streamers, but we know that many are organized by agencies because there are hints in the footage that reveal this. For example, here the streamers are all using the same ring lights.
Yeah, it seems like I already mentioned it before, that it seems like they all use the same lights if they're in the same room. It's like clone.
And nearly identical setups.
War of clones.
You can also sometimes see tech support staff assisting the streamers. There's even a continuous red carpet that are laid out on the ground sometimes, indicating that the team had come and set this up beforehand for their streamers.
Yeah, they're blocking the sidewalk with the streamers here. Oh my god.
As part of an organized business operation. Regardless of how these gatherings form, there is something off-putting about them. They look almost dystopian, like something out of a Black Mirror episode. One of the reasons it looks so jarring is because it juxtaposes a series of polar opposites that really shouldn't belong together. For instance, it juxtaposes the appearance of wealth and fame to poverty and obscurity.
Yeah, they may look like, on the screen, they may look like very good, maintained with the makeup, very good looking girls with some of the filters, obviously. But de facto, they might struggle. They crucially need this job, stream job, to feed their families somehow. And maybe they cannot stream at home because it's very loud out there, too many people, I don't know. They have better conditions outside, could be, and to work for the company. Wow.
These streamers are all dressed in glamorous clothing,
Yeah.
with beautiful makeups, in front of spotlights and cameras as if they are celebrities. Yet in reality, they are out on the street, like homeless beggars. It also
Yeah.
juxtaposes human connections and loneliness. On one side, viewers from all around the country are connecting intimately with their favorite streamers.
Yeah, in fact, all of them are lonely. Those who watch and those who stream. There is no connection. There is like virtual connection. It's not real one. It's philosophical issue that we are speaking about here.
Modern miracle, facilitated by the internet. On the other side, everyone is alone. Most viewers are probably in a room by themselves staring at a screen, while the streamers sit just inches apart from each other, yet never interact. Everyone is locked in the prison of their digital world,
Matrix.
appearing to connect, yet never really do. It juxtaposes collectivism and individualism as well. China has a collectivist culture, after all. So, by and large, people prioritize social cohesion and group well-being above their personal ambition. These street gatherings seem to trend towards this kind of collectivism. Everyone is sitting in front of the same equipment while doing the same things. It looks like they are one unit, working towards the common goal. But the reality is quite the opposite. It's hyper-individualistic. The streamers aren't working towards any sort of collective well-being. Rather, each streamer is out for themselves.
Yeah, I think it's like the huge competition, especially if you are under the same conditions, with the same gear, with the same task. It's very hard to stand up. But they compete for the view, for attentions. But in the field there are, it's really hard, almost impossible to stand up. So impossible to achieve high results, I mean, in the streaming.
Climbing over each other to take a slice from a pie that is only so large.
Yeah, if there is the crisis now in China with their GDP, that they're still recovering from the COVID after so many years, still there are less people, less consumers or viewers of this content. So less people willing to support. They compete for the viewers.
There are only so many viewers on the platform that night, each of them with only so much budget for tips. For one streamer to gain a viewer's attention and tip is for another to lose it. And this individualistic zero-sum competition leads to the last juxtaposition, the appearance of individuality and its complete erasure. The point of streaming is supposed to be genuine connection.
Yeah.
It's a platform for streamers to show their authentic personality and uniqueness for their fans to connect with. And each streamer here appears to try to do that. They're all dressed up, enthusiastic, and entertaining. But in reality, they've lost their individuality in their very attempt to show it. The reality is that they're all doing the same things.
Yeah, I told you. This guy is a smart guy. He knows what he's talking about. That's deep.
In front of the same gears. This process of mass production of content has turned content creation into a commodity, and each streamer is but one of many identical cogs in the content creation machine that churns out the same sort of MP4 files onto the influencer factory conveyor belt. Now, what's happened to the Chinese content creation industry is something I'll call rat racification. That is not a real word, but I'm going to use it to refer to this process of transforming otherwise creative and productive pursuit into zero-sum hustle. Content creation.
Yeah, it's like a race for attention. And I think it's not just in China, it's out there in the United States as well, and in Europe, in the world. I don't know, Minecraft or something, I had very low chances for success. And those big names, PewDiePie, they started a long time ago. By the time there was less competition, so it was easier for them. But everyone had the chance by his time. He put lots of the efforts to that, to achieve that result. It was something new, fresh air. I think that's why he succeeded. But judging on his success, I think it was possible for anyone by the time with some effort and trust in yourself to reach that. I think so.
creation was a cool thing initially. It was a venue for creatives to share their work, and people who resonated with them could start following them. It was sort of amateur and underground, and Asian parents had yet to agree that it was a real job. And then people started noticing how much money was in it and began to flood into the industry. There was enough financial reward.
Yeah, it's like financial reward, it actually motivates a lot. Like it motivates you to focus on what you create.
For some people to be willing to go to the extreme to win. Next thing you know, the whole endeavor became a zero-sum rat race. Something that isn't so different from the traditional rat race, like working at a bad office job with an exploitative
Same,
employer.
exactly.
So you can sit in your street cubicle and do streaming work the same way you sit in your office cubicle and do paperwork. Just a different flavor of soul-sucking, but your soul is getting sucked either way. This doesn't just happen in Chinese content creation, of course. In the West, for instance, you can find courses online that teach you how to churn out basically garbage content quickly or even in an automated fashion so that you can extract easy and fast income or even passive income on social media platforms. And this isn't limited to the content creation industry either. Rat racification can and has happened to many industries.
If you don't like what you do, you'll fail with it. I like to film videos. For me, it's like magic. Now I'm talking, the sound is going through the air, through my lungs and voice. It's being created by this biological substance. It goes through the mic, you listen to it. This sound is being converted into the digital signal, being recorded, processed by these sophisticated tools and video cards and whatsoever. This piece of art, camera I'm looking to is depicting the image that will never be the same. It's magic. And I like this magic a lot, guys. I feel so satisfied. If I hate it, I would never be even slightest successful out there on YouTube with my Ukrainian updates or pilot blog. So people see that you like it and they join you and they subscribe for you and they want to support you. That is how it works. Without you being in interaction with your audience, without you being like, oh, today is one more video. So no one would watch you in this case. I think so. Yeah, it happens, like you have burnout sometimes. It's the usual case for every content creator. I also have those times. It's very hard for me to film, especially then you have your own personal problems. But it's a good thing. I feel more positive about content creation than any other activity. Well, maybe except aviation, because I like flying more after all. Content creation is in the second place, but still I like to do it more as the job than aviation. So commercial aviation is crazy stuff. Actually, if we speak about schedule, if we speak about working on someone, the best mix for me is to produce content and sometimes fly, just not to forget how to do it.
Personally, as a content creator, it is a shame for me to see the rat racification of my industry in real time and its effect on people. Since I started making content, I've made many YouTuber friends who have since quit making videos. Many of them have come to content creation with one expectation, and when that expectation wasn't met, they soon burnt out. Now, this is just a personal theory of mine, but I think the rat race is a choice to some degree. I believe that it's possible to not participate in the rat race, even if the industry one is in is rat racifying in real time. In other words,
yeah, but you should, in this case, I think, to come out with your unique idea, unique experience, which you might share to people. Something outstanding. Like everyone is rat racing, they see the opportunity in something one. Like those China girls, they just put lots of the makeup, they sing some songs, or they speak with their audience about some fluffy flowers. I don't think that they speak about Xi Jinping who looks like a Winnie the Pooh. Imagine a streamer who would stay there and say real things about Chinese politics. How many views he would have, or he or she. Say, oh, our president looks like Winnie the Pooh, haha, and laughing about it. It is the shocking content that would be outstanding. But it's forbidden, yeah, for China. it's risky, always risky to produce like the other content that everyone produces, but there is the chance for you to light up like this. Yeah, obviously, it's not real that someone would stay for long saying about truths about Chinese leader. It's just an example, okay? What could be. Kind of the interesting thing, actually, to register there on Chinese platform and start to say something real about their politics situation in China. Would they ban you right away? Or would they wait a little? I mean, how many views could you get? I don't want to check actually in real life, but it could be the topic of the video.
Just because other people in my industry are rat racing out of control doesn't necessarily mean that I have to do it too. Now, I'm not giving career advice here, and I'm not saying what I'm doing is the only way. But just to use it as an example, I had a friend who asked me this once. He said, Louis, look at these big YouTube channels like Mr. Beast, right? They have much bigger budget and teams of professionals.
I think I already filmed the video about Mr. Beast. Yeah, he earns lots of the funds, but he turned YouTube into this corporate shed. Like, he has no soul in his videos. It's all like mass production, which you may find on Netflix or Amazon Video Premium or something like that. Video Prime Video, yeah. It has less soul. Like, there are challenges. People compete for money, some exaggeration of lots of the stuff. Like, they have filmmakers, producers, script writers. Where is Mr. Beast? He stays there. Maybe he's involved in this operation, but mostly people perceive him as a speaking head. He's like this one more guy with a mic. It all turns to the TV show. That's why I don't like watch Mr. Beast and what he's done with YouTube. It has less soul, as I said in one of my videos.
Professional writers and editors. All you have is a camera and a keyboard, so
Yeah.
how can you possibly compete? Now, this is just my take on it, but I don't think I am competing with Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast makes great content, but the content he makes looks nothing like the content I make. In fact,
And it's good. PewDiePie, I have more respect to PewDiePie than to Mr. Beast because he built himself alone as a guy with a keyboard and with a camera.
the only commonality between our content seems to be that we're both breathing while filming and maybe speaking in English. I'm looking for something more specific. I'm looking to
All right.
create content that falls in the intersection between what I love making, what I'm good at making, and what people like watching.
Yeah, it's where like this spot is really hard to get. What you love making, you have like the budget to make, you have your gear abilities, because I cannot make the content like, for example, I like to watch like Penguin Zero. I don't have the same language as he uses. He's very, like, his humor is outstanding. Like, I don't have the vocabulary, I have just a basic English, it's not my native language. I'll never be like that, so what I'm good at making and what I love making is not here. I think it's somewhere here. I would like to make the content as Penguin Zero with all of those jokes. It's still hard, and I cannot script it before the video. I need to have this knowledge and this sense of humor.
And this intersection will be different for different creators, almost by definition. I learned this from listening to Naval Ravikant, although I think it might actually be a variation of the Japanese philosophy of Ikigai. So feel free to look into these sources further if you're interested in this idea. I adopted the idea for YouTube, but the original is much more general and can be applied to pretty much any industry. The idea is that you should pick an endeavor that falls in the intersection of what you love doing, what you are good at, and what people are willing to pay you for. Now, if someone is exclusively motivated by money, they will tend to ignore what they love doing. They'll push hard on what they are good at.
Yeah, of course. But still, you need to refer to your audience needs. It's very important to find that point. I agree.
And what they'll get paid for. And that is one way that you could get yourself into a rat race. If you're just grinding it out and hustling, then you're not getting anything intrinsic out of the experience. And that's a problem not because of some romantic notion of this you must do what you love cliche. The reason is much more practical. Exclusive outcome orientation is a problem because it's a competitive disadvantage. If you're good at something but hate it, someone else who is also good at it but love it will outdo you. The trick is therefore
it's just a matter of time. It's just I see it also, yeah. Yeah. If you're good at it, if you don't like it, someone will chase you and overcome.
Be ambitious enough to follow your passion, but never be so idealistic as to lose sight of what you're good at and what people will pay for. Now, I'm not saying this is easy. On average, it takes a lot of time and countless trial and error, and success isn't guaranteed.
Yeah. Actually, guys, I tried lots of the spheres, also in social media. Yeah, actually, I was successful. I would say I have more than 1 million subscribers on Pilot Blog, kind of the good views on Ukrainian channel. Yeah, I think I am a successful YouTuber after all, but not with this one, not with this channel yet.
But I'm still iterating to find my sweet spot in the intersection between these three circles regarding my own effort on YouTube. My channel hasn't made enough revenue to cover what I've spent since I quit my job, so I'm still in the red so far. And it remains to be seen whether it'll work out before I run out of savings. I am ready, though, to take my resume back to the job market if it doesn't work out. And I'd probably keep making content on the side and try again once I have enough savings. Because I remember what it was like to push myself to do only what people are paying me for when I worked as a corporate consultant for a few years. No, I'm not saying all jobs are bad, but that particular one just wasn't for me. It was a grind and created a lot of unnecessary human misery. So I think it's worth it to take some time to figure out a way to avoid that, even if it takes a long time. Especially when I know that it's possible to avoid the rat race, as I've seen people succeeding at it. And even in something as competitive as Chinese streaming industry, there are examples of people who have figured out ways to navigate it while maintaining their sanity and passion.
Yeah? There were examples? Really? Like maybe some of the popular bloggers among those people on the street are there and they found a way how to stand up?
I'm talking about stories like this one, where a streamer figures out a path over time to create useful products and services and uses content as a way to find the people.
So she's not like the part of the corporations. She used some content to sell her stuff, yeah? She has like 8,400 followers. She posted unemployed at 31, not a single thing accomplished, capturing the challenges she faced. Despite the struggles, she now earns around $700 per month through various means. So people support her because she tells how it is. So she's not singing, she's not telling about virtual things, she tells about the reality, and people understand that stuff. That's why they support her generosity. So it's also important, I would say, for a content creator to be generous with the audience. And in a way, she speaks truth, so she's outstanding. She's not fairy tale diva or something.
Now, this is not a report of someone who's becoming insanely rich, but maybe that's not the point of their journey. And their journey is still ongoing, so who knows where it will end up. And the point is that it looks like they are enjoying their journey so much that it's already fulfilling, regardless of its destination. Now, I want to acknowledge the possibility that some industries can be so toxic that the only way to compete is to rat race, and one might really have to switch industry to get out of it. I'm not saying that it's easy to find a sustainable and meaningful career. I'm not saying everyone will succeed at it for sure. I'm not trying to dole out baseless motivation here. As you may have noticed, a lot of the topics I cover are quite depressing. At some point, we all need to connect with reality, and reality can be unforgiving. These haunting footage of rows of street streamers is one manifestation of that stark fact. But it is precisely because the consequences of succumbing to the rat race are so dire that it is important to not give up on looking for sane and meaningful ways to navigate it. So I hope that the story of the homeless streamers did not make you jaded.
Yeah, this guy is awesome, very nice, passion, like great passion. Louis Zhao, he is probably, I don't know where is he from, maybe from China. Like he's American, it's understandable. Based on how he speaks, but Zhao, I think he's Chinese because he showed like Chinese language, so he probably knows Mandarin. And nice channel. He has 25.6 thousand subscribers. Absolutely fantastic video. I got it in my recommendations somehow, and I decided to speak about it. My friends, I will share the link for the full video in the video description just below Very interesting topic about the possible dystopian world and quite concerning world. Indeed, for content creators, it's the hard time for us because, first of all, as usual, you compete between each other. We compete between each other. Second, there are factories of content creators and streamers exist now in China for now, and in the future not only in China. And artificial intelligence is also coming, creating absolutely soulless internet where you may create videos with prompts which could be in a few years indistinguishable from reality. It's gonna be the same stuff actually, the same video. It is bad in a way because it also creates soulless internet. I think it should be human-made in general. There could be like some spheres where you may generate artificial intelligent created content. It's not very important for some of the integrations, advertisers, for example, food and stuff. But for content creators like me and this guy, for example, yeah, it's better to stick to real people. Otherwise, you completely out of connection with your viewers. And I don't think that vlogs, at least, will be that popular from AI. I think people should do it, not AI. Okay, saying so, guys, we're fine with this topic for now.